Hello captains, and welcome to part 3 of the Guide to X-Plane 10. In this part of the video we are going to be exploring the different sceneries, textures, and all the good stuff that I use to make X-Plane look great. So I'm going to begin by looking here at the runway textures that I use. And as you can see, this is not the default runway textures that ship with X-Plane. It's in high resolution, and the skid marks are also highly detailed. Now, what I use for my runway textures are the textures made by FlyJSIM. They are completely free of charge and available on this website here on the X-Plane.org. And of course I will provide you with the link to all the sceneries that we cover in this video. The nice thing about this is that FlyJSIM actually provide you with 2K and 4K textures for your sim. So if you're running an extremely high resolution, then you can use the 4K textures. If you're using anything less than that, then you can use the 2K textures. Installation instructions are available in the section here, and also in the README file in the actual downloadable file. As you can see, the runways look great, and there are other runway texture files for X-Plane also available on the X-Plane.org website, but I feel to date the best and the most realistic looking textures are the ones by FlyJSIM. Okay, also these skid marks are actually not part of the runway package. Okay, so this is actually a separate file that gives you the it's high definition textures for your skid marks as well, and this is available here. I've bookmarked them in here, so we can take a look at replacement road taxi skids. There you go. That's the skid textures basically that I use for X-Plane, and okay. So basically these will really enhance the look of the runway. The default skid marks that come with X-Plane are not very detailed, and they kind of look, not very realistic. This looks very, very realistic. I like it. I've been using it ever since I started using X-Plane, and they actually work very, very well. Again, I will provide you with a link of everything that we cover in the description section below. Okay. There is something that is probably not here. Let me try to, let me try to somehow go there. If you see the taxi marks that I'm using, okay, here, these are also not the default taxi signs that come with X-Plane. These are custom high definition taxi signs that I use, and they are available through the X-Pilots, I believe. Let's see here. Taxi HD Enhancement Pack is through the xpilot.com forums. You need to, of course, to register as a member to download this enhancement pack. And let me tell you guys, it comes also in 2K and 4K textures. It works for X-Plane 9 and 10. And they come also in muted, balance, and vibrant colors. You can pick your favorite. I think I have the vibrant one because at night when you're making an approach, it actually looks very, very fine. So I always use the vibrant one, and of course the 4K textures. Now I'm gonna move to the road textures, but let me tell you that using these using the different textures and really these enhancement packs really enhances your experience in X-Plane. There are some of the things that we're going to cover. You're probably thinking, oh, this is really simple, or it won't really add to the experience. But when you put all of them together, it really enhances the experience when you're making, for example, a night approach. Some of these enhancements will really make your jaw drop. So let me show you something else here. By the way, we are in London City Airport. This is Canary Wharf right there, and this is completely free. It's available on the explain.org website, and I will provide you with the links once we move on to the sceneries. Okay, let me show you what I have done here. If you notice, my roads look different than the default roads that ship with X-Plane. They are lighter in color, and in all honesty, I think that this color here looks a bit more realistic than the default darker, street textures that ship with X-Plane out of the box. So what I use is the let's see here. No, that's not the one. Sorry. There you go, the replacement road textures, again available on the explain.org website. Just wait for this to come. Yeah, so those are the one here. It's very simple. It replaces, as you can see, it replaces the dark asphalt road textures with lighter, weathered, and older asphalt. Really, guys, this is something that have made a difference in my opinion. It made the roads look much more realistic, especially from higher altitudes. It doesn't give you that kind of dark look in X-Plane when you're flying IFR or VFR. So a definite, of course, you don't have to get all of the stuff that I show you here, but I just wanted to show you what I use in terms of the road textures. Next up, if you see this little guy here, this little truck going, okay, and you see all these different cars, you will notice that this is, again, not the default cars that come with X-Plane. And in some cases, you'll see a FedEx truck coming, sometimes you'll see a police car, and this is a custom library set that I use, okay, which actually also enhances the experience, because the vehicles that come with X-Plane are all the same. Okay, there's I think 3 or 4 type of cars, and that's about it. This one will actually add a lot of variation to the type of vehicles that are in X-Plane, and I got this from, again, explain.org, and it is right here. This is the extension. This is the extension library that you need to basically download, and of course it will be available in the description section below. Just make sure when you download this vehicle library extension, make sure that you also download the lights, the vehicle library extension with lights for the other vehicles. This is lights for all cars and trucks. In the original version of the library, some cars and trucks have no lights at night. So this is kind of like the fix for the lights on the cars and trucks. Okay. Okay. Next up, I want to show you something. I hope I can find it somewhere around this area. Let me see here. I can't see any power line. Oh, there we go. Okay. See these power lines? Okay, they look very realistic. Okay. Now these are also custom power lines. These are not the default ones that come with X-Plane. I lost them there. Okay. All right. So where do I get these from? Again, I get them from the explain.org, and they are right here. The realistic power lines for X-Plane. Yeah, realistic power lines version 1.0. Again, the links of all these will be provided to you in the comment section below. Okay, folks, so this is what I wanted to show you. As you can see, these signs here, are again not the default signs that you see in Explain. Normally you'd see the United States signs all over Explain, and of course this is not realistic, so there is a really very cool library that you can download that will change the signs, at least in European countries, to these signs that you see here. This will only work in European countries. It will not work in the United States or in other countries, non-European countries, basically. Okay, so and the package for this is this one here. It took me a while, by the way, to find this, but let me see. Europe Road Objects. Here, I couldn't find it at first, and then I had to basically search for DAI. I do have all of these. This is basically Ruben Road Objects that you need to download. Maybe not this one, no. Anyway, I will include it in the description section below, but I don't think it's this one here. I think it's something else. But anyway, I will look for it and provide you with it. If I can't find the link, I will just basically zip the file that I have and make it available through Dropbox or something else. But as you can see, this really adds a lot to Explain. It makes it look very, very nice as you coming, for example, a night approach into, let's say, London Heathrow, and you see these signs as you come in. You really feel that you're in England. You know, you feel that you're in a European country. And by the way, the language is non-English, so I'm not sure what this is. But anyway, if you look at, for example, let's just look at that. Look at how nice that looks. You know, it looks amazing. See how? See, okay. All right. So you can see now at nighttime how the signs are lit up, and how this really, how it looks so very real and so lively. Okay. All right. So next up, this is basically what I use in terms of the different kind of textures, and that's about it. I don't use anything else for the textures on ground textures, let's say. So next up, I'm going to tell you what I use for the sky textures, basically. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. When it comes for sky textures for Explain 10, look no farther than the HD bitmap textures provided by Abdullah Al-Muntasir. And you can find the textures by Abdullah Al-Muntasir at the Explain org store. This is the Realistic HD bitmaps, and this is the Ultra Weather XP, which he has recently released. Now, let me tell you that the Realistic HD maps will do just fine, but if you want a little extra realism in terms of the watercolor and the reflections on the water, then you can get the Ultra Weather XP. For me, I honestly use the sky textures only, because I normally tweak the watercolor using the Terra Haze plugin, which gives you the ability to basically play with the water control, and we'll cover that in part number 4 of this video. But let's go ahead and change. As you can see, the color of the sky looks very realistic. It's very, very soothing, and it really gives you that feel that you're up in the sky. Look at that. That looks very, very nice. It comes in a lot of variations, so you have a lot of different sets that you can use. This is the one that I personally like a lot, so I kind of stick to it. And this is basically the sky texture colors that I use for all my videos. If you're interested to know which sets exactly that I'm using, please just send me a note in the comment section and I'll be sure to let you know which set I'm using. Okay. Okay, next up, moving away from textures to meshes. What you're looking at is basically the UHD Mesh for X-Plane 10. This is a high definition mesh for X-Plane that makes it look really very realistic. Let me warn you that this mesh is resource hungry, so not only will it consume a lot of VRAM, but it will also consume a lot of processor power to render these mountains here. As you can see, they're very detailed and they look really awesome, and they're all in high definition. And the place where you get this is this website here called the allpilotx.net. Okay, you will find both the UHD Mesh Scenery version 1. You will find also the X-Plane HD Mesh Scenery version 3, and you will also find the Tree Lines and Farms version 2, X-Plane New Zealand Pro, and let me tell you also that these downloads are quite large. So you're talking something in the vicinity of 300-400 gig worth of data. So just beware that it's probably going to take a long time to download these. Just general advice on using UHD scenery and the scenery, the HD scenery version 3 and the UHD scenery version 1. What I have come to notice is that especially when you're flying over these mountains in an aircraft like the say the A330, you will notice considerable amount of frame loss. So make sure that, for one, you don't have the extended DSF button checked, because that will definitely bring your machine to its knees. Or you can tone down your settings. For example, the world distance. Maybe you can kind of bring it down. I have everything on max. I like to have everything on max because it just gives me a lot of realism, and it makes my experience in X-Plane really a lot of fun. But beware that there are limitations, and you need to be careful with your settings when you're using the UHD mesh. Also, one of the recommendations from the developers is definitely this will not work on an 8 gig RAM machine. It will definitely hinder performance. 16 is the minimum that you should have for your machine, and 32 gig of RAM is the recommended to enjoy a smooth flying experience. Well, let me tell you, it's definitely worth it. Even if you install the UHD mesh and tone down your settings a bit, it would still look great, and it would still add a lot to your experience. Next up on the list is the Spain UHD mesh for the entire country of Spain. Now, you're thinking that you're looking at a real photo, and the reason why is that the Spain UHD mesh is a photorealistic mesh for the entire country of Spain. It looks absolutely awesome. It looks real because it is real, and you will really enjoy flying over Spain with the UHD mesh. The UHD mesh for the entire country of Spain is available absolutely free of charge. So a big thank you for the guys who have created, the Spain UHD mesh. As you can see, it's available for the entire country, including the Canaries. But let me warn you that these files are quite large, so it will probably take you some time to download all of them. Some files are even in the vicinity of 4 gigs. The entire package is a little over 300 gigs of data, so just beware that it might eat up also space on your hard drive once you extract to your custom scenery folder. Installation is very easy. You just basically extract the files, the zip files to your custom scenery folder, and you're good to go. I have noticed absolutely no effect on frame rates using these scenery meshes. But however, the thing is that it will affect your VRAM. So if you don't have sufficient VRAM, then it might start bringing your frames down. As you all know, I have the Titan X with 12 GB, so the VRAM is not a problem for me. A beautiful mesh. It will really change your experience, especially if you like flying VFR. This is definitely the the mesh for you to download. What you can do is you can download a a certain area that you like in Spain and fly VFR in that area. For me, I have downloaded the whole thing so that I can do cross-country flights and enjoy the photoreal scenery. Moving from textures and meshes to airport sceneries, I begin the tour of this beautiful Payware Airport, which is Stewart Airport, located in British Columbia, Canada. ICAO code Charlie Zulu Sierra Tango. Now let me tell you that this airport is one of my absolute favorites in X-Plane 10. And if you like to fly in Canada, or northern Alaska, then you will really enjoy this airport. It's a great airport to fly from and to. It would be very, of course, difficult to land at this airport at night time, but it's not impossible. But let me tell you that this airport, the modeling of the buildings, the cars, the roads, is exquisite, and I haven't really seen anything done to this amount of detail for X-Plane 10 before this airport. This airport's been around for a while, so it is not a new production, but I really enjoy flying to and from this airport. And of course, the nice thing about it is that it looks very well done, both during daylight and at night. Let me go ahead and basically change the time here. As you can see, as we cycle the time to daylight, all the shadows and the texturing is really done to perfection. Moving from Alaska all the way to Germany, we are looking at Düsseldorf Airport, ICAO code Echo Delta Delta Lima. This airport has been around for a while now. It is produced by Aerosoft, and it is an impeccable replica of the actual airport. At least the layout of the airport looks very similar to the real airport. Now, I really like this airport a lot, and I like when I'm flying in Germany. Normally, this is either a destination airport or a departure airport for a lot of the flights that I do. The one thing about this airport to watch for is that it's not very frame friendly. This is probably due to the fact that this is an old scenery that was developed by Aerosoft, and there has been no recent update on this particular package. So still a very enjoyable airport with lots and lots of details. It looks great in daylight as well as at nighttime. Let's go ahead and look at the airport in nighttime. And as the sun sets, you can see the lights in a minute coming up here. There you go. So the lights are now coming up. It looks absolutely gorgeous at night and in daylight. It's a highly recommended airport. If you like flying in Germany, this is an airport that you must have in X-Plane 10. From beautiful Germany to fascinating England, we are at London Heathrow Airport. Account code Echo Golf Lima Lima. Now, this is the airport, this is the mega airport Heathrow, developed by Aerosoft, and let me tell you that this is one of the very, very best airports ever created for X-Plane. The amount of detail and the accuracy of the building placement is absolutely incredible. The runways, of course, all are custom textures for the runways, as well as the grass at London Heathrow and the surrounding city. I particularly like this airport a lot, and quite surprisingly, it is very frame friendly. Even with world traffic enabled and with all the traffic, all the aircrafts moving around, you still get very good frames. I've flown out of this airport with almost all the aircrafts that I have in my hangar, the jetliners that is. I've had no issues with frames whatsoever. And what I really like about London Heathrow is really the coverage area of the airport. It's absolutely breathtaking. Look at the amount of detail right here. Look at that. That is very, very nice. Okay, we've got some aircrafts taxiing down the runway. So if you are, a London fan like myself, London Heathrow, Mega Airport London Heathrow by Aerosoft is one of the airports that you must have for X-Plane 10. Okay, let me go ahead and show you the airport at night. As you can see, this is something that will really tickle your heart, especially when you're approaching London Heathrow. Just imagine yourself coming in with a 747 approaching the runway. It's absolutely breathtaking, very, very realistic, and very well done. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the airport in daytime. Alright, so as you can see, in daytime it looks just as gorgeous. In fact, not even better than the airport at night, with all the realistic textures, the photoreal scenery that is used to create this incredible airport. Not too far away from London Heathrow, we move to Dublin Airport in Ireland, and this is the Mega Airport Dublin, again developed by Aerosoft, ICAO code Echo India Delta Whiskey. And this airport is also one of my favorite airports. For one, it is extremely detailed. It looks extremely nice both at night and daylight, and it is very easy on the frames. Very, very easy. You will be very, very pleased that you can actually run this probably at maximum settings without any loss in performance. Daytime and nighttime textures are absolutely gorgeous. Okay, let's go ahead and basically fast forward the time so we can look at the airport at night. There you go. that's the airport at night, and it also makes for a beautiful approach into Dublin. If you're a fan of flying over in Ireland, this airport will be one of the very best that you will get. Moving from England to the US of A, the land of the free, home of the brave, and exactly at John F. Kennedy Airport in New York City. This airport is part of the, I can't say his name, there was something design, the same creator of the New York City X scenery for X-Plane. This airport is actually one of the airports I like simply because it blends in very, very well with the New York City X, obviously because it is developed by the same designer. But it makes for a beautiful approach in and out of New York. As you can see, this is right here. This is the New York City X scenery that I have, and it looks very, very nice. A word of caution though, this airport with the New York City X scenery is very, very heavy on frames if you run at maximum settings. So you need to be very careful with which aircraft you fly. I normally, with everything maxed out in the A330 by jar design, I get about 30 to 31 frames, and that's about it. It never ever went more than that in this particular location. So let's go ahead and take a look at this airport at night. I do have a video of New York City X that you can take a look at, which features basically the entire city and moving over to the Statue of Liberty and then coming back and landing into New York. But I decided to include this scenery into the video simply because I think it is awesome. And as you can see now, there you go. Now it is nighttime here in New York, and look at that. That looks absolutely breathtaking. And by the way, always during nighttime, your frames will improve at night, simply because of the shadows that are on. If you have global shadows enabled and at max setting, that could really bring your frames down during daylight, simply because all the buildings are going to cast shadows, all the trees, the cars, everything in the X-Plane world will cast shadow, and that requires additional work from the CPU. And hence your frames will probably get affected. But you can see how beautiful this scenery is at night, and I couldn't ask for anything more from a flight sim other than what this sim gives me right here, especially at night. It is absolutely breathtaking, very, very lively, and it really gives me the experience that I'm looking for. So definitely the New York airports by the something D design. I will post the link in the description section, of course. But this is a scenery that you absolutely must have. Moving from Payware Airports to Freeware Airports, let me begin by saying that there are plenty of Freeware Airports in X-Plane 10. And this is one thing that I really like about X-Plane, is that there is a huge community of developers that develop sceneries for X-Plane absolutely free of charge. And this is really something that helps the community grow. And let me tell you that some of these Freeware Airports are of Payware quality. and we will take a look at an airport that I feel is probably the best Freeware airport ever developed for X-Plane, at least to date. We are currently looking at Newcastle Airport in Scotland, ACO code Echo Golf November Tango. Now this airport is an airport that I really like a lot, simply because it reminds me of one of my trips to Scotland. I asked my wife, actually, who studied in Newcastle upon Tyne, if the airport resembled the real airport, and she said it does look a little similar to it. So I can't really vouch for how close it looks to the real airport. I haven't looked up the imagery as I normally do, but I will tell you that this is a really nice airport to fly from and to, and it's quite easy on the frames. It's very well done. The buildings are of high quality, and all the details that are on the apron also look very nice and gives it a very realistic look. Highly recommended if you like flying in and out of Scotland. It's a really nice airport to have. Let's go ahead and do what we normally do, which is changing the time to nighttime. There you go. As you can see, the lighting has been implemented in a really nice way. You can still see all the buildings, and the you see how the areas here, the parking spots, how they're lit up. It's a really nice airport to have in your X-Plane 10. Next up on the list, La Gomera Airport. This airport is part of the Canaries/Spain UHD scenery, I believe, and it's got photorealistic meshes. As you can see, it looks absolutely gorgeous from up here. It's a nice airport. It's a lot of fun to fly to and from this airport, especially if you like smaller GA aircrafts. You will come to enjoy flying in and out of this beautiful airport. There isn't really much details in this airport, but I think the geography of this location looks absolutely breathtaking, and you will really enjoy coming in and out of this airport, especially at at nighttime. Let's go ahead and look at this airport at night and how it looks. Okay, let's. There you go. As you can see, it looks really cool at night. And coming in and doing an approach on this airport, I think is quite a bit of a challenge. So it will be quite a challenging approach if you like to practice, challenging approaches. Not only that, but I think the eye candy will really make you very pleased if you successfully land, of course. Next up on the list is no other than Tenerife Airport, and this is the northern airport. There are two airports for Tenerife. One is the North Airport and one is the South Airport. Now this airport it has a lot of history, and I'm not sure whether it was the North or the South Airport that had the one of the most tragic accidents between a couple of Boeing 747s that collided on the runway. But this airport looks extremely amazing in terms of the textures. As you can see, the entire area here on this island is photoreal, and again you can get this photorealistic meshes through the Spain UHD scenery, which we covered earlier in the video. I highly recommend that you get both airports, north and south. They look pretty similar, of course, but the scenery and the meshes around those two airports is absolutely breathtaking. Let's go ahead and, as you can see, look at the mountains here in the distance, and how so very real that looks. Let's go ahead and change the time here and look at the airport at nighttime. As you can see, also nighttime looks it looks absolutely breathtaking. I've done a couple of videos that I unfortunately did not upload, making a couple of approaches into Tenerife with a 747. That video for some reason didn't go very well, so so I decided not to upload it. But I will tell you that you will have a lot of fun flying into and out of this beautiful island. Next up on the list is the airport that we started this video with, which is London City Airport. Now, London City Airport is a beautiful airport to have in X-Plane. It makes for some brilliant approaches into this small airport. And I have the other scenery which complements the London City Airport, which is the Canary Wharf scenery, which is these buildings and the dome that you see here. I highly recommend that you get both, and I'll put the links down below for both the airport and the scenery around it. One word of caution when you have London City Airport installed. The proximity of London City Airport makes it close to London Heathrow, to Gatwick, and also Elstree. Elstree is a small field around this area, and all these packages, all these scenery packages, are quite intensive. So if you want to fly, let's say from London Heathrow, going out of England or going north, not to any of these airports, I highly recommend that you remove them and put them in the scenery inactive folder. If you recall, in the first part of the video, I had two folders, one is custom scenery and one which comes with X-Plane, and the other folder which is the custom scenery inactive. So these are quite heavy airports. The scenery around them is quite intensive, and this area around London is quite heavy on the frames, especially if you're running the sim at max settings. So I highly recommend that you remove the sceneries you're not using, and just keep the ones that you need for your particular flight. Again, this airport is a really nice airport to have. It makes for some incredible landings and takeoffs, especially if you like making videos. I think this airport is one that you should have in your X-Plane. Next up on the list is no other than the beautiful airport of Sydney in Australia. This airport was developed by ISDG, and when you see the name ISDG, you can expect very high quality freeware airports. Now, let me tell you that this airport, in my opinion, qualifies for a Payware airport, yet it is available to you absolutely free of charge. It looks very nice. It's got photoreal textures, and let me tell you, this airport looks absolutely breathtaking at night. Let's go ahead and take a look at this airport at night. As you can see, the lighting of the apron as well as the runways is absolutely breathtaking. Look at that. One of my absolute favorite airports in X-Plane 10. It's a very nicely modeled airport, and you have got to have this airport for X-Plane. Very nice, and it also makes for wonderful approaches, especially if you like flying into Australia. You will come to appreciate this airport a lot. Okay, let's move on. And I saved the very best Freeware Airport for X-Plane to last, which is no other than San Francisco Airport in California, USA. This airport, not only does it qualify as a Payware Airport, it is done with a lot of thought, a lot of work has gone into this airport. It's been modeled to reflect San Francisco Airport to the greatest detail. It's absolutely amazing. It's the coverage area of this airport is absolutely massive. It's got all the runways, the buildings, and even the city of San Francisco has been modeled. This is really one of the very best, if not the best, freeware airport for X-Plane. And I was really blown away when I saw this airport, and the fact that it's actually free was really amazing. I really like this airport a lot, and it's quite surprisingly also it's quite easy on the frames too. So you will come to really enjoy this airport if you're flying in and out of the United States. Make this one of your destinations, flying X-Plane, and you will not regret it. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this airport at nighttime. Look at that. Look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. And we can increase the, let's go ahead and make it a little dark. Look at that. That is absolutely breathtaking. Even look from above, if you look at from a helicopter view, look at that. It's absolutely amazing. So this airport is my absolute favorite Freeware Airport for X-Plane. Look at that. Look at the tower. That looks exactly like the San Francisco Tower. Now, just one thing on the Freeware airports before we conclude this video. They don't live up to the quality that you see, for example, from Flight Beam or Fly Tampa. But for a Freeware airport and for all the work that has gone into it, I think the work is to be commended. And it's available free, so you don't have to pay for anything to enjoy this great scenery. And it fills up, your X-Plane world. As you know, one of the drawbacks of X-Plane, in my opinion, is the fact that it does not really have 3D airports. So, for example, in Prepared, you will have somewhat decent airports that ship with it, the 3D airports, that is. Which you can fly in and out of with a reasonable amount of pleasure. In X-Plane, it's not the same. If you don't have the scenery for that airport, then it's pretty much ghost land. There's absolutely nothing there. But the good thing about X-Plane is there is a growing community of really very creative people and people who just wants to help and serve the community. Folks, I hope that you've enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed making it for you. It really has been very difficult creating this video. Part 2 and 3 were very, very difficult to make. I've made it over a period of time. So please excuse any errors or mistakes that I have done, but it really does take a lot of time to make these videos. And so I hope that you enjoy this video. I hope that you find it useful and that you're able to replicate what I've done in your sim and enjoy X-Plane as much as I do. Folks, until next time, and until part 4, please take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye for now.